Okay, welcome to the Truth Concepts for Living a Successful Life, Section 4. And Section 4 is all about something known as denials. You may or may not know what this is about. To deny something is to declare it untrue. So we don't do this haphazardly. We don't do this just to get our own way or meet our own needs in a false way. We do this because things are not true relative to the ultimate definition of who we are. That is, they're in disharmony or not congruent with the definition of the divine. That's who we really are. We are divine beings. So it's to deny it true relative to our ultimate reality. So we acknowledge the appearance of circumstances or situations, but we deny their ability to control us. What do we mean? Or give us an example of this. Well, I might say I have a cold, but that cold does not define who I am. That cold will not, that cold will not allow me to believe that there is nothing more to me than just a cold. Or the fear is here, but it will not control me. I will look past the fear. I will look past the cold to the truth of who I am. I'm a divine child who doesn't inherit sickness, lack, or limitation of any kind. That's the thought I want to hold on to. Why? Because it's true. Will it drive a good outcome? Of course it will. But that's not the only reason I hold on to it. The main reason is because I want to live in a real universe. I want to live in a true universe, a universe based on divine truths and divine laws, because it's a more powerful way and a more successful way to live. Troublesome thoughts, number 3, are always based on erroneous thinking, not in harmony with divine law. It's important to use denials on these thoughts. Again, we mentioned that. If you repeatedly deny any unhelpful or false thought, the key being false, not true, it loses its power to make you unhappy. It also loses its power to make you sick, and a whole host of other things that would be unwelcomed or unwanted by anyone. The summary for week 4 then could be summed up as follows. God is the source and supply of all that is good. This is a divine law. Denials are used on thoughts that are in disharmony with divine law. The result of the use of denials is one of reprogramming faulty beliefs about yourself and the world and replacing them with helpful beliefs and thoughts based on divine law or a higher level of consciousness. In other words, we want to live in a universe that is true, that is based on truth, that is a powerful universe, that is an accurate universe, that is a universe in which we can succeed, in which we can have all our needs met, in which we can be happy, joyous, free, and receive all other divine attributes and live with those daily. It's possible. The visual for week 4 is all around removing troublesome thoughts. So what do we need to do to make this happen then? Well, number 1, you have to recognize that you're thinking troublesome thoughts. And I like to reflect on the fact that we think 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, most of which we are unaware of. We just allow them to drive results and demonstrations without us even challenging them. Before we even challenge it, we have to be aware of it. So without us even being aware that they are repeating themselves over and over and over and over, very much like a prayer, driving outcomes, unwanted outcomes. That's not where we want to be. Deny that these thoughts have any power to make you unhappy. Well, that's the truth of it. If these thoughts are not based on divine truth, then they really have no power. The only power is the one power, divine power. Anything that's not in harmony with that power is not true. Therefore, it has no power. Deny that these thoughts and reality exist at all. Well, this is the best place to be. Reality, again, in the absolute sense, not the relative sense. The absolute sense, there's only one absolute reality, and that is those things that are in alignment with divine law, with the divine presence. If it's not of the divine, then in the absolute sense, it is not here. It is not real. Going back to that whole notion of a cosmic dream. Here's an example. A thought that might be more accurate and reflective of our absolute truth. I have a sensation of fear. but it does not have the power to rule me, since there is one power, and that power is all good and loving. There is no room for fear. Therefore, fear does not really exist at all. The affirmation, the short affirmation that you might want to hold that would correspond to that is, fear is not mine, I am love. Fear is not mine, I am love. So if you were in a state, if you woke up this morning and you were in a state of anxiety, this might be the affirmation that you'd like to replace that fearful consciousness with. Fear is not mine, I am love. There's many different ways to write this affirmation, but that's just one suggestion. Second, then, standing in our oneness with God. Realize our oneness with God in all things at all times. Deny any thoughts that are contrary to the notion of this oneness. Again, that really goes back to the last box of the line above. Deny that these thoughts in reality exist at all. I am one with God. We could easily have changed that affirmation. I am one with God. Fear is not mine. I am one with God. Fear is not mine. Presuming fear was the issue of the day for you, the non-real issue of the day.